Hello, everybody. Nice you joined the first 3R CDN webinar of Kistler. The importance of 3R CDN is becoming more and more apparent in terms of environmental protection and cost saving. But at first, I want to introduce myself. My name is Norbert Bäumel. I am the head of business field joint system business called JSB. Since 1998, I have been working for Kistler in different positions. In 2002, as key account manager, I implemented the electrical joint system, or some call it also electrical servo press system, in our product range. My slogan is, protect the environment and save money for the customer is our guideline of success. Success means Kistler and the customer has to be successful. It has to be a win-win situation. In our case, Kistler means success that we increased the turnover more than 10 times since 2006 and reduced carbon dioxide of a small town with more than 80,000 citizens by 3R CDN every year. The agenda. At first, I will explain the function of electrical joint system and their benefits. In the second part, I explain the meaning of 3R CDN and the benefits for the customers. This is the main part of our webinar. And on the third part, I want to introduce the JCC, means Joint Competence Center in Lohr, where you can use for special tests if you are uncertain with new products in terms which force is required. The first part, technical benefits in digitalization, Alexander Müller, our head of product management, will introduce to you. The current challenge of many companies in 2020 are protection of environment. Everybody talks about reduction of carbon footprint, cost reduction to be more competitive, and higher productivity to earn more money. The challenge for the management is cost reduction and increase of productivity. And I'm quite sure that some of you will recognize yourself in this situation. But no problem or no worry, Kistler supports you to achieve these targets in relation to joint systems. Here you can see the mechanic with integrated force and displacement sensor. And in this example, we join a bearing in the housing. With our monitoring system, maXYmos, you are able to monitor the force and displacement, and finally, you get a curve. With different evaluation objects, or some call it also windows, you are able to control the joint process. In this example, between 30 and 50 millimeter has to be the force between 1 and 2 kilonewton. Then is everything okay. If something isn't okay and you violate the window, you get an NOK signal. Here in this animation video, you can see an assembly line with a joint operation of bearing in the housing. After each joint process, you get a signal from the PLC if the operation was okay or not. If the operation isn't okay, like now in this example, the part will automatically remove from the process via PLC. In this example, the customer wants to make sure that the component can't be used after NOK joint operation. After the evaluation with the result of NOK, the PLC switch automatic to a second program to our maXYmos, and then he destroy the part. And then this ensures that the worker can no longer use the part in a later work step. The joint system can be installed stationary, like here in the C-frame, or on a robotic arm, or on a moving device in the assembly line. The application field is very huge. For example, you can use, or we sold our system in the automotive industry, it's our main industry, NEV, medical industry, white goods, power tools, 3C market, agriculture, aviation, electromotors, the production of electromotors, watch industry, and so on and so on. As just mentioned, we have plenty of applications for the electrical joint systems. Now we come to our product range. Our product range has three different models. The NCF H for high-end solution with integrated piezo force sensor is our best system. The motor is around the spindle. This has the advantage you have a very compact system. If you have limited space, this is a very good system for this. The second advantage is the piezo force sensor. Here you have two main advantages. The first is you have a very high overload protection, and the second advantage is you have two measuring range. For example, here you see a NCFH with normal measuring range 0 to 10 kilonewton. But if you have in the same assembly line also parts where you need a lower force, for example, 0.5 kilonewton, you can switch via PLC to a second measuring range. And then you have a measuring range from 0 to 1 kilonewton, but also with a high accuracy of better than 1% of the measuring range. The second system we have is the NCFN, N for normal. Here we have an integrated strain gauge sensor. Typical is mechanic, gearbox, and motor. The motor is from Bosch Rexroth, and the complete system is roughly 20% cheaper compared to our high-end system. Here you can see a special joint system with 600 kilonewton we developed for an Italian customer. For comparison, you see here a dimension from 1 kilonewton to 600 kilonewton. And also, if you need a special stroke, for example, 800 millimeter or 1000 millimeter, we can do with a normal system. Here we are flexible. And since 1 year, we have a new system. It's called NCFE, E for economic. And this system is roughly 40% cheaper compared to our high-end system. The current industry trends is change to environmental friendly and cost-saving production. And now we come to our main issue or the main topic of the webinar, 3RCTN. What is the meaning of 3RCTN? 3RCTN means if you use electrical servo press system instead of pneumatic or hydraulic system, you have 3 times reduction. The first R is you have a reduction of carbon footprint, CO2. In the average, you can say every time if you use an electrical system, you save roughly 2 tons CO2 per year. The second R is reduction of total cost of ownership, the operation cost. It depends how many systems you use, what kind of force, cycle time, and so on. You can save between 30 to 90% of operation cost compared to hydraulic and pneumatic systems. And the third R is reduction of NOK parts, because with the electrical servo press system, you can control the process, not only monitor. Now, I want to explain the 3 benefits in detail. The first are reduction of carbon footprint. Carbon footprint consists many areas like fuel consumption, gas consumption, waste, and also electricity. In this, in our system, we want to take a closer look to the energy consumption. Now, this is the most important slide of this presentation. The University of Kistler made a test by moving 3 weights, each 100 kilogram, with 3 different systems. One system was a pneumatic system, one system was a hydraulic system, and the third system was an electrical system. By the way, it was not from our company. And the duration of the test was 6,000 hours, equal to roughly 250 working days with 3 shifts, each 8 hours. And for each system, they have an energy consumption counter and measure how much was the energy consumption. The pneumatic system needs for this kind of work 8,380 kilowatt hours. So they move the weight always up and down, 6,000 hours. For this work, the pneumatic system needs 8,380 kilowatt hours. The hydraulic system needs for the same work 3,602 kilowatt hours. And the electrical system needs only 816 kilowatt hours. If you convert the energy consumption into the CO2 emission, the pneumatic system emits 5.3 tons CO2, the hydraulic system 2.3 tons, and the electrical system only half of a ton CO2. Now you can briefly estimate how much CO2 you already can save by replacement of existing hydraulic or pneumatic system via electrical system in your factory. If you have some requests, you can contact us. We offer you some solution. If we assume that each electrical joint system save roughly 5,000 kilowatt hours per year, and between 2002 and 2019, Kistler sold already more than 20,000 systems, and roughly 15,000 are still in operation, then we save approximately 75 million kilowatt hour every year. It's equivalent to consumption of about 21,000 households or 84,000 people. It means it's a little city. The second R is reduction of total cost of ownership. Kistler developed a program, it's called cost of ownership calculation, where you can add the individual local figures of your assembly lines. The program contains 5 areas: energy cost, maintenance cost, material cost, space cost, and other cost. In each area, you can add your individual local figures of your application, like force, how many joint systems you use in your assembly line, price per kilowatt hour, cycle time, how many working hours per day you are working, and how many working days per year you are working, and so on and so on. At the end, you will get a rough estimation how much money you can save every year in your specific application. Recently, we got a request from a customer. He wants to compare 5 pneumatic systems versus 5 electrical systems. Our program calculated, and the 5 pneumatic system needs energy cost, in this case, of 9,677 euro. Our 5 electrical system only 720 euros, saving only at energy cost 8,900 euro. Maintenance cost, and so on. And in the end, the total cost per year was at the 5 pneumatic system at 10,661 euro. The 5 electrical system only 975 euro. So the customer would save every year 9,600 euro if we use electrical servo systems instead of pneumatic system. If you want this program, by the way, it is free. You can contact us and we will send it via email to you. If you need any support how to handle this program, you can contact our specialist Rainer Lux. He developed this program from our Joint Competence Center. Now, the third R is reduction of NOK parts. With electrical joint system, you are able to control the process, for example, with different speeds. In this example, the idle stroke you can drive with 200 millimeter per second, but shortly before you hit the part, you switch to a second program, and the press stroke you can drive with 5 millimeter per second. Then you get a very smooth touch of the part, and then you can start with the operation. Compared to the hydraulic or pneumatic system, where you normally can drive only with one speed regarding cycle time, you hit the part and you can get a peak, like here, of force, then can lead to get an OK part. Now you see why you can reduce NOK parts with electrical joint system compared to hydraulic or pneumatic systems. The summary of advantages: if you use electrical joint system instead of hydraulic or pneumatic system, then you have less engineering, less installation effort. The machine builder always called our system, it's a plug and play system, because you don't have to install wells, pipes, and so on. Shorter commissioning, flexible operation like different speeds or force regulation, less energy consumption, less operation costs, less NOK parts, shorter cycle time. And what's very important is you control the process, not only monitor. The current situation is many companies announced to reduce CO2. Bosch announced last year to have zero emission on all plants until 2020. Recently in the newspaper, I read this BMW manager target includes climate protection and so on and so on. But the reality shows us a different picture. 2018, Kistler did a survey, and 70% of new investment of joint system are still globally with hydraulic, pneumatic, and power packs, and only 30% are with electrical joint system from Kistler or our competitor. Even you have so many advantages. Why only 30% of new investments are electrical joint system? My opinion for that is most of the customer still have the opinion that electrical joint system are much more expensive compared to hydraulic and pneumatic system. This was roughly true since last year, because since August 2019, we have also an economic system, NCFE, roughly half of the price of the high-end system. And if you compare the real price to the pneumatic or hydraulic system, then you will see, or you will recognize, the price of NCFE is equal, sometimes less, compared to pneumatic and hydraulic, because you have to add at the pneumatic system also wheel pressure booster, valve, pump, pipes, maintenance unit, locking piston, external displacement sensor, external force sensor, external monitoring system, and so on. Please ask your responsible contact person at Kistler for advice on your individual application. After that, you get an idea how much money you can save every year. Customer support of new application with JCC. JCC means Joining Competence Center. This Joining Competence Center is based in Germany, in southwest, close to Stuttgart, in our production facility, Lorch. Here we have equipment, a semi-automatic station, where we can do some customer tests. For example, you plan a new assembly line with a new product, but you don't know what kind of force is required. You have two possibilities. You send the parts to our JCC Competence Center. They will do some tests and give the results to you, or you come with the parts to our facility and you can see exactly what's happened if we do some joint operation. And all the documents we prepare for you, and you can get it. At Joint Competence Center, we have two specialists. One is Rainer Lux and one is Peter Balzer. Both have together more than 40 years experience. And the feedback of the customers they used already JCC was very, very positive. With Joint Competence Center, we have the target, we measure, we analyze, we do some consulting to you, and the customer benefit is reduction of planning cost, faster commissioning of new assembly lines, because we always get the results. The customer thinks in the beginning, in the planning process, he need a joint system with 10 kilonewton, but during the commissioning, he recognized he need 14 kilonewton. Then he has to replace the system. He has to put a lot of effort and money to get a new system and so on. To avoid this, you can get in front already through JCC this kind of requested force. Extension of lifetime, because we do also simulation of life and cycle time, and more profit regarding reduction of cycle time and NOK parts. What is the benefit of you if you stay at Kistler? Kistler deliver everything from planning until after sales service. It means if you are already in the planning process and you don't know what kind of force is requested, we can do it via JCC, and we do also tests about cycle time and so on. Then the order process, this is our favorite process we do. You can place the order to us. Then we support you during the commissioning. Then you can do the production. And after this, or during the production, with our after-sales service, we make sure everything goes well. We offer also maintenance contracts that you can use our system 24/7 in the year. And with Joint Competence Center, if you have problem with Joint Competence Center, we can help you to solve the problem. Kistler is not only a supplier, Kistler is a partner. So I'm already on the end of my part of the presentation. I want to say two things. First is, there is always someone who is cheaper, but you should have in mind the price-performance ratio. This includes product quality, application know-how, global presence, and finally, the support if you have problems. And believe me, you have always problems. As already mentioned, to protect the environment and save money for the customer is our guideline of success. Now, I hand over to Alexander Müller, who will tell you something about technical benefits and digitalization.
Okay, thank you, Norbert. Next slide, please. I want to say some words to my person. So my name is Alexander Müller. I'm at Kistler since 2003, and I started in the product management in 2005. So I have now 15 years experience in the joining system business, and I want to give you the latest version of our systems and what we have done in the past in the next minutes. So next slide, please. So if you see here, force displacement monitoring or XY monitoring has a long history at Kistler. So we began developing these kind of devices 30 years ago. So this is, you see here at that slide, the latest version what we have. It calls maXYmos. maXYmos has the meaning of maximum, MA, maximum XY monitoring system. XY, we say typically it's flexible, but in this case for servo presses or press width operation, X is for displacement and Y is for force. And so we can do the monitoring of these kind of processes. If you look at the right side, we have in our family the maXYmos TL and BL. This is I would say, a standalone monitoring system here. Typically, if you have any kind of actuator, like a hydraulic, pneumatic, or you have a hand press, we have a solution for that, for monitoring. And on the left side, you see here, we are talking about the servo presses. We have developed these kind of systems to a real, complete, tested system here. It calls the maXYmos NC. This is a special force displacement monitoring system with advanced control features. NC means for numeric control, so therefore we have a possibility here to control the servo motor by a servo drive. So the big advantages on that slide is we offer you a complete solution or complete family, independent if you have a servo press or you have any kind of different XY application, like a hand press or you use a hydraulic or pneumatic. So we can offer you a complete family for that. Advantage is if you know one device, like the BL or TL, it's quite easy to do the handling for the NC2. So it looks like the same. Next slide, please. So if I have a deeper look in the system, so I would say we are talking about different kind of levels. The level below is the actuator level. So this is an anti-joining model we call it, the servo press itself. So this is a mechanic with a servo motor and integrated sensors. In this case, we have an integrated piezo sensor, but we have strain gauge versions too, and we have an integrated displacement sensor. So on the next level, important, you see beside the maXYmos, we have a servo drive here, which controls and put the power to the servo motor. And this servo drive is, how to say, not so intelligent what we use. We have put in the intelligence in the maXYmos NC. So this device do all the control. It do the control of the process, it do the monitoring of the process and everything. So that's why we call that level, it's control and monitor level. And the last level is we can do the visualization and the interaction with the user. So therefore, you have possibilities to connect that device, the maXYmos NC, to an PC, to a server, or also you can use a DIM, a display module here to do the handling, visualization, and everything. The advantage of a complete family is on the right side here, you can do any kind of combination if you have a machine. So this means you have a servo press system here with a servo drive, and if you have any kind of other operation here, an other actuator, you can put all the devices together, or here torque sensor, you can use the XY monitoring here for torque by angle. And the big advantage is you can have that kind of family, uh, everything together, and you have that possibility here. You use the DIM and can do here dashboard that you can do the visualization, everything in one place. So everything is one complete family and gives you the advantage here, the same look and feel, and we can offer you here complete solutions. Next slide, please. The big advantage at the maXYmos NC is what we have is, as Norbert has mentioned before, is the control the process. So therefore, we have an integrated sequence controller, and this sequence controller, you can edit with the sequence editor. And on the right side, you see we have a lot of different kind and powerful sequence elements. The first one is, and the most important, I would say, is the motion element. So this means, therefore, you can control the complete process. This means you only put in, I want to go to 100 millimeter with a high speed, and after that, I want to have a slower speed with 10 millimeter and stop at a force. So therefore, you can do absolute positioning, you can do relative positioning, you can do to positioning also to an external reference sensor, you can stop at the force, you can do a force feedback control and all that things. So, and if you see now the other elements, like you can easily start and stop the measurement, you can use a timer element for settle time of your process, you can do an interaction with a user at a semi-automatic station with a dialogue, you have in and output, you have a wait element for a handshake with a PLC, like if you have a machine and you want to put the part in, you wait until the part is really in the correct position and then go on. The label gives you the possibility to debug the process, and with a jump you can also repeat things, jump to an element, to a label element, and so on. So, and you see, you can do all the combination of this element completely flexible in this sequence editor, and so this is very powerful. But the best thing is it's simple, so it's quite easy. So there's no programming, it's only a parameterization, and so you are able to do a parameterization of your process within some minutes. Okay, next slide, please. So to control the process is one thing. The other important thing is to do the monitoring of the process. And therefore, we are really very powerful with our device. So you see here, we have as a standard feature available like an evaluation object, or some people call it window. And this kind is an evaluation object because it's an integral here. So you can do the integral under the curve, you can check the gradient, you can have an average of a force as an evaluation. And what is really important, we have also evaluation object with live functions. This means, for example, if you have a tunnel box and you know you are in the not allowed area of a tunnel box, you get a live event that the system knows, oh, something went wrong, and then you can stop the process. So that means if you know at the beginning the process is not okay, why to go on? So you can stop the process and have here the possibility to save some cycle time. Okay, then we have an inflection window. This means in this case, you can use, for example, to detect the block position. So there's the advantage you can protect a little bit more your machine, not to put all the time the highest force to the part. With a brake detection, you have a possibility to check if something breaks, like your tool, and you can stop the process to protect your machine about more damage. And if we go now to the next slide, you see what is in our device. We have up to 25 different evaluation object types which are available. So and this is really powerful, because if you do an installation in your machine and you are not sure what you should do with the evaluation, so here you have a flexibility really to have after that really some kind of solution to find an evaluation of your process. Here, what is really powerful is like the get ref. And on the right side, you see how powerful our device is. You can find different characteristics of your curve, like a block position point or any kind of other point, and then you can do a relative positioning of our evaluation object to that point. And so this gives you maximum flexibility of evaluation of your process. Next slide, please. So what are key features of our maXYmos NC? This means machines are becoming more and more intelligent. This means here we have also in our device 128 completely independent programs. This means it's quite easy to have 128 different kind of parts with different kind of evaluation and different kind of process control, which we can do with one maXYmos NC and one servo press system in one machine. So the other thing is we have an integrated spooler of up to 5,000 curves. If you have a problem in your production that Ethernet goes down and it's not possible to send all the quality data out, our device is able to buffer it up to 5,000 curves, and so you can go on with the production. And if the Ethernet established again, so the system will send all the data automatically out, and that's it. As a machine builder, you want to have a lot of flexibility. That's why our system have different kind of field bus, and this has also configurable field bus features. This means quite every parameter could be manipulated from the PLC. You can override them, you can read them out, and so this gives also from a PLC side maximum flexibility with our system here. We have really a measuring device, so we are talking about sample rates for the displacement of 4 kilohertz and 10 kilohertz for the force. So this is really high performance, I would say, for such kind of devices, and this gives an additional benefit to real measure also peaks, and you have also the possibility to save some cycle time. And what is really important is all the data you have, you can send them out. We have all these kind of protocols like a OPC UA event, like CUDA, IPM, PDF, CSV, and all these protocols we have available as a standard in our device. And so you have not only in these protocols, if they support that, not only the actual values and the curves, you have also the possibility to have a set point. So you know exactly I have produced that part with that sequence, with that speed for press fitting and so on. So, and this is 100% traceability. And if you want to have more information about your process, you have statistics on board, like on the right side, you see is your process really in a very good shape, or is something going in the wrong direction? So this gives you a lot of possibility here to have the absolute control of your process. Next slide, please. Okay, it's all included, all the protocols, they are available. What are the main important takeaways? Every system you get from Kistler is 100% tested. We put all the system here together in our facility. We do a complete test, dry run, we do a calibration of a force, and we also have as a standard safety feature available. These are tested and you get certification of these kind of safety report available. So this means if you install the system in your machine, it's more or less plug and play. You have to do a correct installation, and saves you time and money, and so you can make commissioning quite fast. So, and the next one is, you see how powerful our system is and how much flexibility it gives for you. So you can really be sure that most processes could be solved by the control and also by the monitoring features. So you can be sure, typically, if you don't have a solution or don't thought about any kind of evaluation at the beginning, so our system gives you a lot of possibilities to do that. Also, if you are not prepared for that. So, and for sure, statistics are available, 100% traceability. So these protocols are available. You can send them out and you have absolute control. Next slide, please. So if I want to summarize that, we have with our NZ joining systems here a big chance and big possibilities here to be very flexible and to solve your press fit operation. Because of the plug and play, the installation efforts are low. The maintenance and cost of ownership are low. We would recommend to do a calibration at least twice a year. And you have to do the greasing twice a year, depending on the application. You have less energy consumption, and that offers you also an environmental benefit. For sure, as mentioned, the servo press system can be used for a lot of different applications here. Independent of any kind of branch, if you are in medical or you are in the automotive industry, you can do press fit operation, caulking, riveting, clinching, or spring test. So everything where you want to ensure that your quality is perfect and fits to your requirements. Next slide, please. So this is my favorite ad here. You know, Kistler is blue and the products of Kistler are typically blue, but here it's green because you do something for the community, you do something for your environment. So with our joining systems, as mentioned before, you are able to save energy and do something for the environment. That's why the color should be not blue, should be here, in this case, green. Next slide, please. So I'm at the end. I want to say many thanks for your attention. If you have any kind of questions, projects, or we can help you, please do not hesitate to contact us. We are looking forward. And thank you for your time. And I wish you a great day and stay healthy. Thanks. Bye.
Goodbye. Ciao.
Bye.